Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Esports Canada production. We are bringing you the Toronto Hearthstone Open, and in fact, we are bringing you the ace match of the Grand Finals. This was a 24-person tournament held at the Microsoft Store in Yorkdale with a $100 prize pool. We have our two players, Rev and Zive, just setting up for what is again the ace match of our finals. My name is Galleon, and let me introduce BoxerXIII, my co-caster, to talk about our mulligans.
Yeah. Hey all, it's Boxer. Glad to be casting the final game. It was a really awesome tournament. We had some really good games. So it looks like it's gonna be Warlock versus Shaman. So Rev here. Oh, he decides to keep. Interesting. Yeah, he's got the Ancient Watches and some Fury Protector, so it's a really good early game. And if it ever goes low on health, he can Shadow Flame that Ancient there and clear the board.
Wow, and our Shaman Zev actually keeping all of his cards as well. So, very interesting opening. No mulligans necessary. Nothing coming out for turn one from either player as we move forward. And here we go. Ancient Watcher is at turn two playing again. This is that Warlock Giants late game type play. Should be seeing lots of life tap and then lots of late game play out of him. Shaman a more control style deck, it would appear. And the draw is Tinkmaster, and that Sun Fury Protector is the obvious play here to power up that Ancient Watcher into something useful.
Yeah, I mean, on the turn 3 there, he could have life tapped, and then turn 4 maybe life tap and use the Sun Fury at that point.
More mana efficient.
Yeah, seeing that there's nothing really on the board coming from Zeiss here. But yeah, Zeiss continues to just token up and pass.
Very, very slow play effectively from both of our players. Even though the Warlock has dropped 2 cards on the board, there's not much aggression that he has. Able to take out the 1 token, though, from the Sun Fury Protector. He's got that 4 mana. Argent Protector seems like a bit excessive life tap and leaves him no follow-up play. And you can see then the advantage of perhaps having life tap to the turn before and then Sun Fury this turn.
Right. Okay, so Zeiss here, he's looking... Just drops the Shield Master, seeing that his opponent's only able to attack, creature wouldn't be able to break through that.
Absolutely. Potential of a silence coming out, but that seems perhaps a bit excessive. Tinkmaster is there. There is, of course, the Shadow Bolt and Shadow Flame. He's doing a little bit of math. Okay, so we're going to smash it in, and then we're going to follow it up with the Shadow Bolt. So a 2-for-1 on the Tazdingo. Tazdingo often gets that when played on turn 4. And he's going to silence his own taunted Ancient Watcher to get him into the game aggressively, start putting some damage into the Shaman.
Yeah, it's a really good play, and I like the fact that he's playing the Owl when it's there's no threats against it, so the Owl isn't just going to instantly fall, which is good.
Absolutely forces the Shaman to play something to actually be a response to that. Now, the Shaman has a tremendous number of options in his hand currently. What's the play that you see?
I don't know, that Stranglethorn Tiger is kind of unusual. I'm surprised he's running that. He's got a lot of options here.
Absolutely. He's got his Stormforged Axe, he's got a Lightning Storm, he's got a Wild Pyromancer, a Rockbiter, a Coin. All of these things can combo together in interesting ways. He can just drop an Azure Drake or a Stranglethorn Tiger if he feels that he's willing to accept the 6 damage and whatever new comes into the board. He perhaps doesn't want to overload too much this turn, you might be thinking, because he has the turn 6. His next turn would be the Fire Elemental, but at the same time, is that 3 damage Battlecry going to help immediately on that turn? There's a lot of considerations.
Yeah, I don't know. As weird as the Tiger is, I think that should be his play, because nothing else seems good.
And he agrees as well. Boom, there we go. Stranglethorn Tiger comes out. Probably going to take an extra 6 damage to the face, and we're going to see. What do you think? Life tap and then maybe Argent Commander if nothing good comes up feels reasonable.
Yeah.
He's got some nice tech cards in there. I mean, he's got the Tank Master, and he's got the heal for himself, and the Hellfire, and the Shadow Flames. Got lots of options, and none of them really fit this situation ideally.
Definitely just life tap, see where he is at that point, but most likely just life tap Defender of Argus, and again attack directly.
Here's that Mountain Giant. We'll see if he ends up playing this early or saving it for late game. I know it's been his habit to save it. Wow, not even wanting to taunt the Ancient Watcher. Interesting, I like that. Forcing the Tiger to waste his time on that Owl. Bring it down to 2 damage, easy removal with maybe a Hellfire or anything else that he might play.
Yeah, with that play, he's probably looking to get a Hellfire off, and that way the Ancient Watcher isn't killed and he can continue to do more damage. I'm surprised the Warlock still has that much health, actually.
Shamans?
But I mean, it's because Zeiss has been playing so passive this game.
Absolutely, he got that RNG, so there's the extra spell power, and he's able to just almost completely wipe that board.
Here, I'm pretty sure he has to Rock Biter and finish it off, because he doesn't want to bring his Tiger down to 1 health.
But then he brings himself down to 15, so it's a choice that he's thinking about. But you're right, it needs to be removed, and it needs to be removed this turn. And how do I go about doing it? Unfortunately, doesn't have the mana for the Wild Pyromancer. If you have to coin out to get the Wild Pyromancer out, you don't get that effect. But with his Healing Totem out, that would have been fantastic. And he's going to look at it, and eventually he's going to decide that yes, this Rockmaster has to happen. He's going to sacrifice his Healing Totem to do so. Okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Yep, the best play on the board. Didn't want to weaken himself anymore. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Doesn't seem like this is the turn for the Mountain Giant, does it?
It could be. I mean, he could even life tap Mountain Giant here.
Well said, well said. But he decides not to. It seems like life tap Mountain Giant would be the play if you were going to play the Mountain Giant. But he's thinking about just dropping it straight off and then having that 1 mana just left over.
It's not the most mana efficient way, but I mean, he is saving a little more health. He could be worried about that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he doesn't know about if there are bloodlusts or commanders or whatnot, and these shaman decks can run a lot of spells, and a lot of them being direct damage. Here comes the Hex, fairly obvious play onto that giant, and then he's going to, looks like, yeah, use a charge of the Stormforge Axe, smash that down so we can get 5 damage right into that Warlock space. Well done. Still got a coin going into turn 8. A little bit overloaded, but the mana necessary to play any of the cards. Ooh, and the Warlock sees that Draxus at just about the perfect time when he starts hitting that 9 mana mark, so he's feeling good about seeing that. Fairy Dragon doesn't add too much to the situation. Siphon Soul it is, not going to save that for anything more dangerous because he's already pretty weak. And that's the turn.
Yeah, just being mana efficient there. And try and clearing the board more or less. This is perfect play for Drake. Drake's amazing. It pays for itself, and if you play it on an empty board, it's even better.
Yep, and not to mention that he's now sitting at +2 spell power to respond to anything that the Warlock leaves on the board. I mean, unless Rev kills off one of those things with direct, I mean that's pretty scary when you've got an AOE board clear card in your hand. Bringing the Wild Pyromancer out's interesting. It brings the extra damage up, but it does... Wow, I mean, the potential of board clear now, if he was to play Lightning Storm or anything like that.
Zeiss is really thinking whether or not he should attack here and make the cost of those Molten Giants less, because he hasn't seen them yet, so...
But he does it. He does it.
Elements.
Soulfire, we finally see the Soulfire come into the Warlock's hand. Hellfire doesn't quite clear this board the way that he would want.
No,
Doesn't have a... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think maybe just Jirax is here actually and Soulfiring the Drake, just so he can start putting out those 6/6s every turn. Because he does have the Shadow Flame, so if any threats come up, he can just 6/6 Shadow Flame. He can answer anything with Tank Master. So maybe getting out a fast Jiraxis here might be a really good play.
Yeah, I like it. Now, I don't know that he's thinking the same thing, but there are times that you just want the pressure, the incredible pressure that a 2-mana 6/6 every turn Jiraxis provides, and of course the weapon as well. So we'll see here. Now he's doing some maths. He's thinking about what's going to be a potential lethal, seeing that his opponent has the 7, the 9 damage on the board at any time. And it looks like he's going to feel way more, it's more comfortable Hellfiring this turn and bringing Jiraxis up at a different time.
Well, that's the thing. He's really trying to bank on playing Jiraxis to gain life and bring him back in instead of being aggressive with it. But the problem here is he can't kill that 4/1. He doesn't want to Soulfire because, I mean, if he tosses his Jiraxis, he just loses the game.
Yeah, it's well said. It's well said. It's not a card that he can afford to lose. And now we're sitting with this 4/1 up, and we can see why maybe Jiraxis last turn might have been the better play, but we've still got a game going. These players have roughly equivalent health. They've got somewhat equal board presence with the weapon and the 4/1. And their card situation, very close, but of course, Shaman with a slight card advantage. What's the play from here? This is now every game that we've seen Xive play. He has had a moment where both of his Azure Drakes have been out on the board at the same time. And that's just hilarious for those spell power advantages. Does he just drop the Lightning Storm? And I mean, it clears. And then it allows... Looks like he's going to. There you go. He didn't think about it for too long.
I mean, he's guessing Warlock's not going to really play many more creatures, right? If they're going to play, it's going to be giants. It's going to be big things. It's not going to be a bunch of little guys. So maybe the 2-for-1 off the lightning there isn't so bad.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're not going to maintain this type of spell power situation for very long at all. So you can't expect it to be able to do that kind of damage just to giants or multiple giants. It's like 2 Moltons get dropped or whatnot. But let's see. I mean, I think the obvious play is just attack with the Drake and even attack with the weapon, because I'm not even sure that this weapon is going to be... although it does...
See, well, he doesn't want to attack with the weapon because he knows the Jiraxis is possible. So he can use it at any other time, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably better just to attack with the Drake and pass the turn here.
At the same time, though, well, either that's true. If you attack with the Drake, it somewhat forces the Jiraxis play if he has it. So whether or not you use the weapon does.
Oh, well, he didn't even attack with the Drake.
He's
really fearing those Molten Giants. He hasn't seen them yet, and he knows if he attacks, Molten Giants are only going to cost 1. So he's keeping his opponent at 15. It's a very good, very smart play, for sure.
I wonder.
We're gonna see here if Rev. See, now Rev can't even play Jiraxis because now he'll be too low.
Geez, yeah, you're quite right.
Maybe Jiraxis Soulfire the 4/4 Drake and attack the other Drake. It's a really tough spot here. Harvest Golem, Defender of Argus. I think he needs to tap here, even though he's going to be way too low. It's a very, very tough decision here for Rev.
Let's see how he plays this. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about his options. He knows that this game, and likely this turn, could decide his future for this event. There is a $50 grand prize on the line here. He's got to try to figure this out.
Very tough, very tough. I feel like if he did play the Lord Jiraxis earlier, that more aggressive play would have been better, because he's really stuck now.
I hear what you're saying. Definitely would have been an entirely different decision tree available to him at the moment, and he is really, really thinking this through.
That's the Hellfire. He has no option. Hellfire and probably even play the Argus here. Yep. He has to have something on the board, and he knows that he's going to Drax his next turn anyway, so he might as well play what he has.
And there we go. There we go.
Due to the overload here, he does not have lethal. Probably gonna see Commander just destroy the creature. No, even better, Fire Elemental. Totem up.
We are definitely moving in now to the final moments, or, well, maybe not the final moments, but certainly some tense moments of this match.
Okay. He doesn't have many options, again. There's a big threat on board that he can't deal with.
Talk us through this here, Boxer.
I feel like he knows it too. Like, he's looking at the weapon. He's doing the math. And, of course, your opponent is going to have a lightning bolt. Like, that's what's going through his head. He has no options, really. I feel like he held on to this Draxus too long. He had to play it way earlier. I mean, really, what can he do? He can tap, hopefully get a giant, Molten Giant, and then tink the 6/5 and play the Sun Fury. I think that's his only option. He knows if he plays Draxus that he's most likely gonna lose.
Can't afford that with that wasted turn. Not wasted turn, but that empty turn where you're just getting Draxus out of your mana.
I mean, his opponent has 8, so Draxus, -8, be at 7. So he's gonna have 7 damage in hand. And with the spell totem, oh no, you could probably kill that off.
Just with the weapon from Draxus?
Maybe Draxus is the right play. I would probably Draxus here. But then he has no follow-up. That's his problem. He knows he doesn't have follow-up. Well, he can Inferno Shadow Flame. That doesn't stop the direct damage. That's the thing. Shaman has the lightning bolts. Usually one lava burst is run in a lot of Shaman decks. Ooh. I think this is a mistake. Because he doesn't have enough to threaten lethal anyway. He should kill the spell totem. Leaving the spell totem up allows him to take more damage from lightning strikes. Okay, good. He did kill it.
And there it goes. Alright guys, it's nail biting time.
Yeah, he can bring him to 1, which is not enough. Probably just Argent Feral Spirit.
I wonder.
Because then I think there's no answer to that.
It does seem like an incredibly strong play. Leaves the taunts on the board. And we gotta get these Argent Commanders out on the field. Get their damage done. I was just gonna totem instead.
Zeiss doesn't have to worry about the Molten Giants now. Play it.
And again, the players allowing each other the time limit. The way that the rule setup was, it is the opponent that needs to call a time warning, and then the admin will enforce a turn end. But both players being very manner, allowing each other to give the time to really think this through and make sure that the moves are the best possible. And there is the play that you called.
Yep. Now here I think we should attack with the weapon.
But it looks like Nope. All
Because I
right.
feel like if there's going to be some sort of miracle play, it's going to involve big taunts. So he should get the weapon off while he can.
Mm,
And yeah, that's basically it. You bring him down to 3, which is a lightning bolt finish, right? So I feel like he should have attacked with the weapon there.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Doesn't
Absolutely.
look like it's going to make a huge difference, though, in this game.
No, and it looks like he's thinking about the Mortal Coil and then the Shadow Flame onto that 6/6 Infernal. And
Yep.
that's here's the board.
Rep's doing everything he can. He's hanging in there for sure.
You gotta respect him for that. He's trying to play this out as best as he can, but he is so low.
Shields up.
I'm not so sure about the Sun Fury. I feel like... Okay, he just won the game.
And there it is. The lightning bolt comes up. That is the game ender as he slowly drags that mouse over. We will see the lightning bolt smash in, and GG, a handshake. And Zev stands up and just scratches his back. There's the hand clap because he is excited about finishing first place, taking home the $50 big prize of our very first Toronto live tournament. Boxer, talk me through that game. What are your comments as we went through that final match?
Basically, Zeiss was worried about the Molten Giant mostly through the game, so he's holding back, which is usually the right play to make against that type of Warlock deck. You want to get the big presence and then finish them off. So I think Zeiss made a lot of really good plays, and he was definitely deserving of this title. Congrats to him.
Absolutely, and congratulations to everyone who participated. Again, Esports Canada has brought the Toronto Hearthstone Open at the Microsoft Store at Yorkdale in Toronto. Big shout out to everyone involved. If you enjoyed the content or are just interested in esports across Canada, check out Esports Canada on Facebook, on Twitter, and all the rest. Once again, I am Galleon, and my co-caster BoxerXIII would like to thank you all for showing up and hopefully enjoying. We will definitely be putting out more content and more tournaments soon. See you then.